be a very, very good tank indeed. And those of you who know all your tank history, we have a little bit of tendency to kaleidoscope history. If you look back, judge them with the benefit of hindsight, and there is a bit of a tendency to say all the British tanks weren't very good. In actual fact, this tank coming on now, the Matilda II, was a superb tank in 1940. It frightened the Germans no end. It had got very, very thick armour. The German standard 37mm anti-tank gun could not penetrate the armour of this vehicle. And surprisingly enough, it was reading the reports of the strength of the armour of this tank. Hitler read these reports, and it was that reason that he insisted on the German army starting the Tiger program. And a lot of people often think that the Tiger was designed after the invasion of Russia, when the German army met the famous T-34 tank that we'll see a bit later on. In actual fact, Hitler starts the Tiger program in May of 1941, before they even invade Russia. He insists that the German army has a massively powerful tank. And one of those reasons is because he's read the reports of how good the British Matilda II tank was in France in 1940 and out in the North African desert against the Italians. Now this has got a larger crew, it's got a 3-man crew, you've got a 2-pounder gun there. Now it's always very confusing when we talk about gun sizes. In Britain we had the weight of the shell that the gun fired was used to measure the type of gun it was. So 2 pounds in weight, 2 pound of shell that was fired from that gun. And in the early 1940s, that tank gun would have fired a round through any known German tank at the time. It was very, very effective. It's about 40mm in size across the end of the barrel, to give you an indication. And it was a high velocity gun. The rounds came out at the end of the barrel with a tremendous amount of force behind them. This particular tank, it's painted in a scheme called the Quarter scheme. It was a scheme designed for use in the desert, and this particular tank has been painted in the markings that was used by a VC winner called Foot out in the desert. It's a rare survival.